I guess we'll just start off right off the bat like this. It's been a pretty hectic, say, 24 months for you. COVID was really weird. I've spoken to a lot of coaches and players in the OHL. How would you describe your season? If you could, in a quick 2-minute ramble, just be like, how did it feel to start? When did you feel like you got your legs going?
Yeah, I think overall the season was great. I think just being able to play and as the first case scenario, rather than not playing at all last year was definitely obviously a lot better. And I think maybe a little bit at the start of the year took me a little bit to get my legs going. I think I'd definitely be the first to admit that it wasn't the best start of the season for me personally, and definitely wasn't playing how I believe I can play. But I feel like as the season went on, as we got deeper in the season, I felt like I really started playing well, really started playing up to my caliber, really started playing to the level that I believe I can play to. And I think by the end of the year I was really at my peak, and really happy overall with how it went, and you're really excited about what's ahead here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it really sucks this year that the OHL playoffs kind of happened at the same time as the U18s, because that would have been yet another tournament that would have been fun to see. So we heard from Coach Caputi a couple of days back about the start of the season, and when you finished the year, well, prior to the COVID pause, like you were playing with Chromiak on your line in your 15-year-old season, and then you start this season and you're playing with Soto and Ludwinski on your line. So Caputi said that he gave you that kind of responsibility because he felt like you would be the perfect guy to kind of elevate them and get them started. So I just wanted to get your feel, like how was that discussion, and what did you take from it in terms of the responsibility that he was giving onto you? Sorry.
Yeah, obviously a lot of responsibility. I think obviously those two guys were both fifth overall picks in the OHL, so definitely high end players. But obviously it was their first year in the OHL, so they're still rookies. They're still new to the league and new to the OHL and all that. So I think Luca wanted to trust me and kind of bring them along with me, and kind of teach them a little bit, and just kind of showing them what it takes to be in the OHL and to actually be a top end player and produce in this league. And I think over the course of the year, those two really grew, really developed a whole lot as players and people as well. And really love playing with both of them. Really unbelievable teammates as well. And really happy with how they developed and grew throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously being the captain as well, like there's added responsibility. There's one aspect of your season that I found interesting, is that in your 15-year-old season, you were primarily seen as a goal scoring machine. And then as we kind of looked at this season, obviously, if you look at the stat line, it looks like you became more of a playmaker. But if you look at the underlying numbers, you were still putting shots on net. You were still generating offense regardless. But how could you explain, or what did you change in your game that made you more of a proficient playmaker this season as opposed to in the past?
I think there's a couple things has to do with it. I think a little bit is the players I was playing with as well. I think all the players were I guess 2 years older now. I mean, I was still playing with Wisdom and Chromiak my first year too. Obviously, really high end guys who both got drafted to the NHL. But I think everyone was older, everyone was more mature, and overall we were a better team as well. So just kind of by default we were starting to score more goals. We were starting to play better as a team, and I think just kind of I mean, I didn't really expect more goals or more assists or one or the other coming to the season. I think just kind of took it as it came, and wasn't really focused on I was trying to pass more, trying to shoot more. I think just trying to make the right play at the right time, and just so happened I had ended up passing a little more this year. But I mean, it still ended up getting the job is done. I can't really be upset over that. So I guess it's just kind of a couple factors, but kind of just overall what kind of came with me, and what I took as it came to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess when it comes to the style of play, like it's a style of play that isn't necessarily hyper flashy. Like it's not like you're going to burn up the left side or the right side of the ice at full speed and beat defenders completely flat footed. But you play a more methodical game. And so when you usually play that, a lot of people will question, well, hey, why isn't he skating quickly, or why isn't he like rushing up for the ice? And a lot of it had to do with utilization, as you said, playing with younger guys, defensively trying to be in the right position. So I guess my question to you is, there's a lot of, I guess, perception that your game could be more optimized by being a little bit more energetic, more active on the ice. How do you perceive your strategy when you're on the ice, and why is it that you like to play a more methodical, slower game?
I think your point is, point being I can be a little more eager. I think I actually agree with that. I think that's something that, looking back on this year, I could actually improve on a little bit more. But I think, like you're saying, that the type of game that I play is, like you said, a little more methodical. I'm kind of thinking ahead in the game a little bit, thinking, where the puck's going to be, where, right position, and where I should be on the ice. I mean, obviously as a centerman, you got to, be recognized and be aware of the defensive end. And I was playing against the other team's best players most shifts, so I would also have to be aware of them, and when try not when I want to take unnecessary risks to have the puck end up in the back of our net. So I think that's just kind of the style of game I played. I think that's just the type of player I am. I mean, it's maybe not something that I want to improve on a little bit. Maybe I can be a little more eager at times, but I think you can also be going a little too fast at times, and sometimes you got to slow it down a little bit and take in information and then make your decisions off that.
Absolutely. And I think that, Montreal is a center that actually went through the kind of same thing in Nick Suzuki, where in junior it was perceived that, oh, maybe he's not fast enough. And then it was really just a processing thing. And when he jumped to the NHL, that's when that change happened. And now he can stop and go at will. When it comes to the World Juniors this summer, are there any plans to attend that, or is that something that would be discussed after the draft?
Yeah, I think exactly that. Just kind of a decision that has to be made after the draft, because obviously it's, close to NHL camps there, and obviously you're going to want to have an off season, but obviously anytime you can play at the World Juniors, represent Team Canada on the world stage is something that you don't really want to turn down. So definitely some decisions are going to have to be made here in the future for sure.
Yeah, and you don't turn them down very often. In fact, you've been captain of the U17s and U18s. So it's when we think about leadership, when we think about character, these are a lot of things that rebuilding teams kind of look in. And obviously there's talent, and when you're picking first overall, talent is above all. General manager of the Montreal Canadiens, Ken Hughes, said that with the first overall pick, he's looking for a guy that's going to help them redefine the culture of their team, make it a winning culture. I wanted to ask you, this isn't a trap in any way, but how do you feel you can contribute to a winning culture?
Yeah, I believe that, I can bring, that winning culture to any room. I think that, with my passion, my intensity, obviously I'm a guy who's competitive and wants to win every game. And I hate losing as well. My first year in Kingston, we lost quite a few games, and, that was tough on me. Obviously playing in Don Mills the year before, we won a lot of games. So it was definitely tough on me, but I think, we grew that culture over the summer, over that time we had off on Zoom calls and all that. And we brought that into this season, and, we had, substantially better year than we had 2 years ago. So I think, I can help bring that culture. I mean, obviously I was named captain as well. So, my coaches and teammates, also trust me to lead the charge and be that role model for everyone. And, lead by example. I think that's something that I kind of do is I lead by example. I lead by my effort and, my work ethic. So that's something that, I bring to any team that I play for.
Absolutely. And so we're talking about, bringing what you can bring to an NHL club. I guess my question then becomes the goal for next season. Is it, is there any doubt in your mind it's 100% you want to be in the NHL next year?
Yeah, that's the goal next year. That's where I want to be. I mean, that's, where I believe that I can be. I think I can get to that level. Personally, I think I have a lot of work to do this summer, a lot of work that I got to put in order to get that. And in the end, it's obviously, up to the management decision, up to what they choose to do. But it's my job to make that decision as easy as possible to keep me up there, and to make them, put no doubt in their mind that I should be up there. And I believe that, I can be there and I can compete in the NHL, and that's where I want to be. But like I was saying, still got a lot of work to do, but I think I'm trending on the right path right now.
Absolutely. And it segues directly into what I wanted to ask you. So what do you feel you want to work on the most this year to make sure that you're 100% NHL ready come September?
Yeah, I think I want to work on my quickness a little bit more, acceleration, my foot speed a little bit. I think it's something that I see as an area of improvement in my game right now, and it's something that I think that if I can improve on a little bit, if I can get that a little bit better, I think I can really take my game to the next level. And it's something that I've noticed from watching NHL games. It's super fast games, so it's definitely going to be an adjustment. I think getting a little bit faster, a little bit quicker is definitely going to help me out a lot.
Yeah, and from all of the things we've read, you're a very dedicated person in the gym and in training. So I guess my question to you is, do you feel you still have a level or two more in terms of power that you can gain, especially in a lower body perspective, to get that explosivity, that quickness that you could add to your game?
Yeah, I definitely believe there's another level I can get to. I mean, I just turned 18 in January, so still maybe get a little bigger and grow a little more. But I think there's definitely I can definitely grow and prove that those muscle a little more, that quickness and that power. And it's definitely going to be an area of focus for me this summer. And both in the gym and on ice with how I'm working and how I'm training that.
Awesome. And just a few kind of things to close it up a bit. So in one of your interviews, you had stated that you felt like you deserved to be first overall. And a lot of people found that to be like a cool vote of confidence for yourself and really kind of showing that, you really want this. And some others believe maybe you require a little bit more humility. When it comes to why you feel you deserve to be the first overall pick in this draft, help me break it down. Is it because you feel like you've achieved or you've done enough to warrant it? Is it because you feel like down the line you're going to prove that you are 100% the best player of your draft group in this case?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think, maybe it's just kind of that's just all been that's always been my attitude. That's always kind of been the person I am. I'm a competitive guy. Maybe I spoke a little too soon. I think there's obviously still a lot of time between now and then. I mean, I'm not there yet. I still got a lot of work to do, but I think I'm a competitive guy, and I want to be the best. I want to be the best, wherever I go and wherever I am. So that's just kind of the person I am. That's always kind of how I've been. I don't think it's anything that has to do with humility or confidence. I think it's just what I believe and what I believe as a person, how I believe that my game can translate and the potential that I see myself.
And that's again one of the questions I had up on the board here is how your game translates, and that this is a thing that I've talked to other OHL coaches, not just Luca, but the ones you played against, especially in North Bay. Coach Aluhan was very direct in trying to detail how he came up with a game plan to try and defend against you. And so this is kind of what I wanted to talk about in terms of structure and the way that you play your game. How do you play a very structured game like you do in kind of a non-structured junior scenario, and how do you feel like that overall game can be translated to the NHL in an effective way?
Yeah, I think a structured game, an all-around game is something that can really translate. I think being able to be versatile, being able to play in a lot of different situations, and having different roles in the team is really something that can be valuable. Obviously, you need your high end guys and your power play guys, your goal scorers, and you need your third, fourth line guys, those grinders. And I think I'm a player that can do a lot of different things, and I think that's a valuable asset to have, especially going to the next level. And I can play different spots, I can play different positions, I can play in a lot of different situations. I mean, I still got a lot to learn about the NHL. Still got a lot to learn about the little nuances, little things about the game, and obviously the speed as well and the physicality. But I think that my game and where I see myself is I do a lot of things well, and I think that I can play in a lot of different spots and I'm versatile that way.
And is there a specific NHL player that you like to model your game after that kind of inspires you to improve your style?
Yeah, I like modeling myself after a guy like Patrice Bergeron. I think really obviously super talented guy. He can score goals. He's proven that, and he can make plays and get points and all that. But I think obviously what gets noticed for him the most is his 200-foot game, the way he can play in a lot of different situations, the way he takes faceoffs. I think he was number one in the league this year in faceoffs, and he kills penalties. Is always out there, and the key moments. And he's a really guy that I look up to, and is someone that want to model myself after.
Yeah, and his former agent is the general manager of the team picking first overall this year. Have you had any conversations with the Montreal Canadiens since the lottery?
I haven't, no, not since the lottery. No.
Yeah, so they're scouting the competition right now across the ocean in Helsinki. So you'll probably get to see them in Buffalo next week. Have you ever been to Montreal?
Yeah, I've been to Montreal a number of years ago for a spring hockey tournament. I actually was lucky enough to tour the Bell Center a little bit, see their rooms, see their facilities, and obviously it's unbelievable there. I mean, I think it just speaks for itself. The history of that city, and the history of the fan base and the team, the organization, and just a really, really unbelievable place.
Yeah, and it is an unbelievable place, especially when you're winning. But there are ups and downs in the season, and I guess the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was the market. The Montreal, as the fever pitch market that it is, there's a lot of pressure that goes into it. There's a lot of expectation that goes into it. How do you feel you can handle pressure? How do you feel like you'd be a right fit for that kind of a market?
Yeah, I think that I've been handling pressure my entire life. I think obviously wherever I go, I feel like there's always going to be eyes on me. I was playing up in age in minor hockey, getting exceptional status and playing as a 15-year-old. Though, there's always going to be eyes on you. There's always going to be people watching, and I think that's just kind of something that I've always had on me. I think I try to shine under that pressure and try to push that pressure and take it as people are people are watching me. People are excited for what I can do, what I can become, and I think pressure is something that can be good. I think pressure is something that can, really show the type of person you are. It can really bring out your true colors as a person, and or it can, totally break you and destroy you. So I think, what I want to do and what I want to be is, there's always going to be pressure. There's pressure no matter where you go, especially in hockey with nowadays, and the media and all that. There's always going to be people watching, people saying things about you, and you want to make sure that you're on the good side of that, and you're taking that as good pressure. So
Absolutely. And obviously, when it comes to a market like Montreal, there's always going to be the language aspect. They're always going to be looking to see if there's going to be a little bit of an effort to say a few words in French here or there. Is that something that you would see yourself interested in just kind of picking up a little bit of the culture while you're there and trying to give back to that community?
yeah, definitely. I mean, if obviously the draft hasn't happened yet, so I don't even know if it's going to be
If it's to
Montreal,
be.
but yeah, but if that were the case, it's definitely something I'd want to do. It, I think any way you can interact with the fans of any fan base, and connect with them a little more, just helps bring that little more passion to the city, helps get those fans a little more excited for that team, and that's definitely the case with the language we're in Montreal. If that was to be the case with where I'm drafted.
Fantastic. Well, look, Shane, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of luck with the draft, and hopefully we hear your name at number one, and you get your outcome that you desired. But I really want to take you to thank you for your time, for the season you had, and again, best of luck this summer in your training.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Have
Appreciate it.
yourself a good one, man.
Thank you. Take care.